You officially took over as general manager in March. It's been about 4 months. What is something as the GM that you didn't see coming?
Well, I can say that one of the things I was really encouraged by right off the bat was just the amount of support, I guess, and I got a lot of people sending me congratulations, a lot of things, and I guess for me, this was a 12th year for me with the club, and in my previous role as executive VP, it's sort of a similar role. My role didn't change much, title changed, but so I guess I sort of felt like I was doing the job to some degree already, and sort of under a different title, and so I guess just right off the bat, I didn't expect as much attention as I guess I didn't see that part of it coming. There was much attention. It's been great, and I think leading up to baseball season, that was a good thing, and helped draw some additional attention to our opening night, which we felt was this year the most important opening night we've had maybe ever. So that was probably a good thing that I didn't see coming, was just I didn't see much of a change, I guess, in those two things, but certainly has helped me do my job better, just because there was a lot of attention drawn to it.
The duties for a GM, a minor league team, very different. If you say a GM in an NFL team, Major League Baseball team, people think, oh man, it's a dream job, and it still is a dream job. Obviously, a GM for minor league baseball teams is a big accomplishment. But what are some of the duties that are unique to your position as opposed to those other positions?
I got asked this the day that they called, that we got the news that Carlos Correa was coming up from Corpus Christi. I had a lot of emails that came through, different questions and different things, but I had one person ask me in particular, what took you so long to call him up? And what's the thought process of making the decision to call him up to the Grizzlies? And so I've had to tell a lot of people over the years, and that we don't have anything to do with that. But more now than ever, I don't get to make those decisions. We just take whoever comes. The Astros decide who's going to wear a Grizzlies jersey and be on our club. And so yeah, my role is we get to build a business around the game of baseball, around the player development that all the teams are doing at the AAA level, and so we get to build an entertainment business and be a venue for that around their development, which is a great thing. But I don't get to do any of that. And in fact, the only player transactions I get to do is in my fantasy baseball league. That's it. If I went down and tried to give any advice to Tony D or Jeff Lunell about anything player related, I'd probably lose my job.
It's a very good point. And speaking of the Astros, it's been about 9 months now into this relationship. This is very unique for Fresno. They really haven't had an affiliation change, especially the Grizzlies. They've always known the Giants. So in these 9 months, what have been the positives so far with the Astros, and what have been some of the challenges, given the area here being predominantly a Dodger fan base, a Giant fan base, an A's fan base?
Yeah, I think initially a lot of people ask, well, who are the Astros and why would we care? And I think for a lot of the fans, especially maybe Giants fans, you get used to being associated with one club, and the natural reaction is, well, why would I care about this big league team? I cared about the other big league team, whether that be because I'm a fan of the Giants, or I'm more interested in the Giants because they're in the same division as the team I like, or whatever the case may be. So to be in the American League and be in another state, it feels very far away, and it feels like, well, why would I care about this? And so there's an education, I guess, re-educating, I guess, the fans about what this is about. This is about 25 roster spots on 30 teams and the dream of getting to the big leagues. These are hard jobs to get, and I always tell people that that's bigger than who your favorite team is. So you get to come down to downtown Fresno and see some young men chasing the dream, and in this case, with our new affiliation, we've got a great ball club. We've got a great collection of talent. At this point where the Astros are at, we've got a first place team. We're winning ball games, and we're seeing some really interesting talent and some guys that are going to be certainly be big stars. So I think for us to have a first place team is a lot different, and helps us re-emphasize, I guess, the development side of what this really is.
Speaking of that, it is the Fresno Grizzlies. It's not the Fresno Astros. This isn't a semi-pro team. It's a AAA baseball team still. Has the biggest misconception been oh, hey, the Grizzlies moved. Oh, hey, oh, they still play AAA baseball. Has that been the biggest misconception?
Yeah, definitely. I still get asked by people, what do you think of Fresno? I go, excuse me? I'm from Fresno, right? I grew up in Kingsburg. I've lived in Fresno the last 12 years. And I get people that assume that I got here because my role changed before the season, and they see new GM and they go, didn't you come out with the Houston club? So there's definitely some confusion and misconception about how the affiliation process and how that goes. And we're still Fresno Grizzlies, still the same ownership, still really the same core staff that we've had over the years, and just a new big league team that sends their players here. So I get welcomed to Fresno all the time. I've lived here 12 years.
The staff you just spoke of, the full-time staff year-round that stays here, I guess has maybe become a little leaner, maybe more diverse than in years past here. It's been typically a really large front office. What has your philosophy been behind some of the changes, and I guess where are you still figuring out where we're going to kind of, grow, or what's kind of the mindset for future?
I think we're in this business, and in any business, you're always evolving, and even in the time that from the day I started here to today, it's changed. We didn't have social media the first 2 or 3, 4 seasons that I worked here. So even just the way that you market your team and spend your effort getting the word about your games has changed so much since the day I got here, and really a lot more, even more so in the last 3 or 4 years. So I think with technologies and things that make us run more efficient, and just the changing evolution of social media and media in general, and it makes you kind of shift to where the needs are. And I think for us, really the key and the thing that I think is most important is I want to find people that I trust to do the job that I put them in, and let them work. And I think that we've been able to find some young local kids that have kind of come up through our system, kind of like the players do, and then mix that with some folks who've been with other clubs and maybe been in Major League Baseball or been in minor league hockey or different areas that sort of bring a good mix of local and some perspective from other teams. So we want to run lean and mean and have talented, motivated people that are going to help us make this thing a success.
In this new season, with all the changes, what is something that stood out as a really big strength of this front office and what they've accomplished, and what's something maybe, if you don't want to call it a weakness, but maybe an area where you hope to, get better at?
I think I've been really pleased with the way we've been able to brand this team. It's Fresno's team. We're wearing Fresno on the front of the jersey. I think I'm seeing the Bear flag when I drive around town on people's front yards or hanging from the balconies of their apartments. And so I think the biggest strength, if I could sum it up, is we've been able to make adjustments really well and see the changes as opportunities, and I think we've been able to adjust. We've seen some things already that we've tried in this kind of new era of Grizzlies baseball that didn't work, and we just kind of kept rolling and shifted a little bit and tried something different, and sort of I think we've been real flexible and made adjustments on the fly really well. I believe that about us.
Speaking of the big players that have been here, most recently Carlos Correa, Madison Bumgarner pitched here. Buster Posey's spent time here actually with Madison Bumgarner. And there's been many more that wore a Grizzlies uniform. And these are highly touted guys. But in a minor league baseball realm, they aren't necessarily ticket drivers. Is it just because it's minor league baseball and it's more of a theme of the overall experience?
I think you hit it on the head. That for us, it sort of left me scratching my head years ago to see that when you've got your organization's top prospects coming through, there's a hardcore fan base that is knows the Baseball America list, and sort of tracks where these guys are at. I think with the internet now and with Twitter and everything, it makes it a lot easier to follow where your future prospects are going. But if we had a Buster Posey rehab assignment, we would have sold out. If he would have played 5 games in a row, I'm pretty certain we would have sold out 5 games in a row. And then you go back to when he was playing here as one of their top prospects, he was here for probably almost a full season equivalent. He came about half a season, 09 and 2010, and quite frankly, those were 2 years that our overall attendance was actually a little bit dipped from where we've been since then. So it is sort of a puzzling thing. We just had the #1 prospect in all of baseball playing with us here, Carlos Correa, and you can hear that there's a following in the stands for him. There's a different level of cheer when his name's announced in the lineup. But overall, you don't see that overwhelming big drive and a random sellout for these guys on their way up. But I've seen some of the biggest crowds we've ever had for guys that are already established stars in the big leagues come down and do rehab assignments. Like we had Nomar Garciaparra in, I think it was 06 or 07 when he was with the Dodgers. That was one of the longest lines I've ever seen for people trying to get into the ballpark to see Nomar Garciaparra. And but again, you have, like, to your point, Madison Bumgarner, Posey, Carlos Correa. You see the needle move a little bit, but not that big gate impact that you see for a rehab assignment.
Season ticket holders also plan to be here every summer. And there were some on the affiliation change that had second thoughts, and then months later said, you know what, sign me up, I want my seats back, I'm going to miss it too much. What have those people meant, especially in what's been really a challenging off-season? Hasn't been really an off-season for anybody here.
Right.
But what do those season ticket holders mean to you?
Those people are part of the core, and they've always been part of the core. And the question came up this year is, are you still going to be part of this core that is Fresno baseball? Again, that is Fresno baseball. This is the Grizzlies, right, in Fresno. Are you still going to be part of this core if it's not your favorite major league team affiliate? And I was really encouraged. A lot of people said, yeah, we're in this thing. We've been here since day one, and we're going to stick with it. But we did have some people that dropped off, certainly, and I understand that too. If you lose interest because it's not your future team's players, I certainly understand that. But for those people that stuck with us, they're glad they did, because they're seeing a great brand of baseball. And I'm actually seeing a lot of people that are still Giants fans that are coming out to the ballpark. And guess what? They're watching these guys that are great ball players. We've had a lot of great players already advance to the big leagues, and I think that they're not changing they're not changing who they follow. Right? They love the Giants still. They love the Grizzlies as well. This is their hometown team. But I'm seeing a lot of these people take interest in what's going on at the big league level too with the Astros, and I've in our office and amongst our fans. There was a lot of interest and a lot of people asking me about the draft this week and who the Astros were going to take with the second pick, and wanting to know more about Carlos Correa. So those fans that stuck with us and decided, hey, they're part of our core fan base no matter what, they're important. They're part of our lifeblood, and they're really we're family, right? And they've proven that they're in this thing with us no matter what. So I genuinely love all those people, no doubt. We spend a lot of time together.
Speaking of your core, you guys, your wife and your daughter found out there's going to be a fourth member of the Franks family. You're going to be welcoming a boy pretty soon. In minor league baseball, this is a very, I guess, time-consuming job in terms of the hours you have to devote. And you seem to do it fairly well. Every time I see your wife and your daughter, you guys, make time for each other. How have you been able to make that, life balance work out, as they say?
So for me, it goes back a number of years, because my wife only knows me as a baseball guy. We met when I was already working here, and I was already working the long nights and the weekends and all that. So somehow she just grew to know me as this sort of baseball guy, and somehow, thank God, actually liked it and liked me. So as shocking as that may seem, she sort of she's been used to it, I guess. And so, but I would say now that I've got a daughter and I've got a son on the way, due in November, and your life sort of revolves around baseball. We even tried to time out having our son in the off season so that it would be easier, and that worked out. So, but I think one of the beauties of the ballpark and working here is it's a family-oriented place, and I think the same reason that fans come out here and have a good time is the same reason it's easy to raise a family and be a front office person. Is it's a family environment. So my wife and my daughter can come out to a game any given night, and they don't need me around to be able to have fun, but I can see them more often. And my daughter is at the age now where she loves Parker. She's obsessed with Parker. She talks about him all the time. And so she knows the tune. When she hears the song, she knows he's making his entrance. And so even though I'm busy and I'm kind of doing my thing, they can come out and be a part of the ballpark, and that makes it easier to balance a difficult thing, which is balancing the baseball life and family life. So my kids will certainly grow up watching a whole lot of baseball, and I think that's one thing that makes it really good is it's a family place.
It's been 1998 since the Fresno Grizzlies made the playoffs, and that was at Pete Biden Field. So Chick Chansey Park, since it opened, has never hosted a playoff game, and not jinxing it, but it's looking like it's a very possible chance that it finally breaks it. So what is it going to mean, I guess, to the front office to be able to experience that? And then obviously what will that mean with the switch from the Giants to the Astros, do it in the first year and do it for the city of Fresno?
When we changed affiliates, one of the things we knew going in was the Astros were loaded with talent, and we were all thinking, not wanting to say make the playoffs, but we were thinking it. And so as we get to the midway point and our team looks like they can continue and make that run, I think it's exciting for everybody. For the front office, it's something that I've never experienced, and really none of us here have experienced in Fresno. So oddly enough, I came up through tickets. My first job here was in the box office, and then I came up through the sales side and spent a lot of time in tickets. And I made the joke a couple of times recently that if we have to put playoff tickets on sale, I'm going to have to actually call and ask somebody what to do, because we've just never done it. And so I think for Fresno, and I think for our fans and for our front office, it's just something that I hope everybody gets excited for and rallies around. And for it to be the first year with the Houston Astros, I think it's just a great special thing to start off our new relationship by having a team that we can at least be here in June and be thinking we might make the playoffs is a real cool thing. And so it's really special, and I think helps this whole transition and make it fun, and it highlights what a great organization we're affiliated with to have as many guys as we've had called up. And you look down the pike and you just see a ton of other great players that are waiting to come up and be a part of our team as we continue to talk about maybe winning our division this year. So I think all around it's great for the city of Fresno, it's great for the fans, it's great for our organization, and we'll be knocking on wood a lot because we're going to be talking about playoffs for the next couple of months.